Shawn, founder and CEO of the All Things Are Possible Group. We're a skills development training company based in South Africa. But unlike the generic skills development and training companies, our focus is on leadership and character development. We speak on leadership and character development, and I serve as a leadership and character development speaker, trainer, and soon to be author of my upcoming book entitled The Character Foundation of Leadership. It's not what you build, it's on what you build. And that is the title for my presentation today. So within the next few minutes that I have, I'm speaking on the character foundation of leadership. It is not what you build, it's on what you build. So for the next few moments, I am going to be building a case for character. Character. Edmund Burke made a powerful statement some years ago, and he said, all that it takes for evil to prevail is for good men, good women to do absolutely nothing. And so I, Shawn, have decided with the ATAP group that I will not do nothing. So within the leadership space, within company cultures, within organizations, governments, private, public sector, unfortunately, we have too much of evil prevailing within leadership, and part of my mission is to do my part in ensuring that evil does not prevail. People and societies do not need more leaders. Let me repeat that. People and societies do not need more leaders. What they need are more leaders of character. Being a leader and being a leader of character is two completely different things. It's not the same thing. So have a listen to this. Too many leaders have the skill sets for the positions of power, but not the character for the power of the positions. Before we can have leadership with character, we need leaders with character. You cannot, and when I say you, I'm just speaking generally and not specifically speaking to you, but obviously it applies to all of us. We cannot succeed in leadership while failing in our character. Not every leader in a leadership position provides leadership while in the position. Now, what I've observed being a leadership and character speaker is something very interesting. Society has become obsessed with the public accolades of reaching the heights of leadership and of entrepreneurship and of business, higher positions, higher power, higher influence, while being reckless and careless, negligent and dismissive and even inconsistent with the depths of personal character that holds the heights of leadership up. So what we want as society is, we want growing, but we don't want grounding. We want public success with no private sacrifice. We want strong leaders without building the strong foundation that sustains leaders. And so we want leaders who achieve the heights of leadership, but they are shallow foundations. On what are you and I, as individuals, as companies? I often ask the questions. On what are we trying to build our leadership? On what are we trying to build our culture? On what are we trying to build company vision? So while there might be many building blocks to building leadership, culture, and vision, there is only one foundation on which all of these building blocks stand. Why? Because character is the foundation of leadership. So no matter how great the quality of the building blocks, and I refer to the building blocks as skills development, as knowledge, as your skills, as your talents, your education, your leadership experience, your leadership qualifications, and being so strategic, all of these buzzwords that we associate to leadership, those are building blocks. And every building needs building blocks. And even the building blocks needs a strong foundation to sustain and support it. Great quality building blocks built on compromised foundation compromises the building. I'm going to repeat that. Great quality building blocks built on a compromised foundation compromises the building and everything in it. So wise builders know that the structural integrity of any building, and when I say building, I'm talking about physical buildings, yes, but I'm referring also to leadership and company culture, a company's vision. So wise builders know that the structural integrity of any building depends not just on the strength of what you build, not just on the strength of what you are building, but on what you are building. And that is the foundational integrity. And at this point, let me just remind you of what this presentation is about. The title is The Character Foundation of Leadership. It is not what you and I build. It is on what you and I build. And this is the reason why leaders are failing in leadership, especially morally and ethically. It is because when leaders fail, they fail first in their character. So when the foundation is not solid and the foundation is weak, sooner or later, whatever leadership has built, skills, expertise, talents and gifts and knowledge and information, all of that comes crumbling down. Why? Because the foundation of character is not in place to sustain leadership. So companies and those responsible for staff and leadership and youth development, unfortunately, they often glamorize the building blocks of leadership. So we glamorize skills development, we glamorize skills, experience and talents and qualifications and knowledge, but we neglect the foundation on which everything rests, and that is character. And listen to this statement, because I think, and I'm very unapologetic when I mention these kinds of nuggets which I referred into. If what you and I are building is more important on what you and I are building, then what we are building is compromised. Allow me to repeat it. If what we are building in leadership is more important than on what we are building, then what we are building is compromised. The foundation of leadership is character. And leadership is too critical for the advancement of societies and people and companies and countries for us to ignore the character of our leaders. So why does the foundation of character matter to you and I as leaders? Why does it matter to our companies and our companies' leaders and our government leaders? Very simple, with the foundation of any building. The foundation determines the weight that can be carried by leadership. The foundation absorbs the stresses, the pressures, the burdens, the strains of leadership. It ensures long-term leadership stability, safety, durability, and protection. And it also ensures that the foundation is unshakable. The character foundation of leadership is the unshakable bedrock upon which dependable leadership is built. The foundation of any building is too critical to be ignored. So even when building leaders, and unfortunately we are too casual within skills development, leadership development, we are too casual with what is critical. If I were to pose this question to you, put a group of people in a room that lack character. In another group, put a group of people with strength of character. My question to you would be, in which group do you want to work? Answer would be obvious. Why? Because we understand the power of character and its impact and effect on each of us personally. Everyone talks too much about leadership, but too little about the personal character of the leaders providing leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, we are too silent on the one thing on which everything in leadership revolves. And that is why I have made a decision. It is my passion. It is the flagship of our flagship program of the All Things Are Possible group. It is what I speak on, and that is leadership and character development. Leadership and character. And our flagship program is called Leaders of Character. We want to build a generation of leaders of character, not just leaders, but leaders of character. And we need to be intentional about it. If the character of a leader is not credible, the leadership of the leader is not credible. And if you and I are in leadership, and this goes to everybody in the future that is going to be watching this entire summit, but specifically as I close my presentation, if you and I are in leadership, then character needs to be in us. We do not need more leaders, we need more leaders of character.